everyone. Welcome back to Straight For You, where we're giving you straightforward dialogue with an open mind. I'm your host, Miss Black Diamond, along with my handsome, intelligent co-host.
Yeah, you put that handsome on there this time.
Yes.
It's the Ruthless BK. What's going on?
Hello.
Hey,
Good, Ruthless.
I'm here. I'm back. It's lovely.
Yes.
It never rains in
Sunny California.
There we go. All right. Hey.
You know, I'm
straight for you.
Hey.
How we doing, fam? Friends out there?
Friends. You know, what's been popping in your life?
Well, always just trying to keep above water.
Okay.
You want to,
Are you floating or are you trailing?
Well, men don't float, so that's why you got to make sure your dog paddle game is intact.
Constant motion.
Constant motion. Got to keep it going. Now, y'all can float.
Oh, yes. When you get a little tired, you can
just lay on back in the water.
Yes. And
what's that song? Wading in the water.
Yeah, sometimes you got to take a little break.
I agree. It
makes you tired all the time.
Yeah.
Let's think smarter, not harder.
That's the motto.
Yes.
That's the motto. I like that. We going to think smarter. And not work harder.
Okay.
All right.
That's the goal.
Let's do it.
So other than that, anything else popping?
No, just glad to be here. Straight for you and get back with the Straight for You friends and fam.
Okay.
What's going on out there, y'all.
The love.
We here. We for y'all. We for the people.
All right. Well,
what's up with you?
Shoot, this life, yo. This adulting, really, it takes a toll, makes you tired,
folks don't understand about that.
Make you looking fatigued, bags under your eyes.
Folks don't understand.
Adulting, the young people that's watching, y'all better enjoy their youth, because at the end of the day, once you start really kicking in the motions of being an adult and the feelings of being an adult, child.
Them taxes, that insurance, all of that stuff.
Ghetto. Come on now, stop.
Man.
But at the end of the day, we can go on and on about this life, but we're going to go ahead and get into this topic, this Straight For You topic.
Yeah.
So today's topic is men and women role reversals. Again, the topic is about men and women role reversals. And how do you feel on the different aspects of that?
It depends on the situations a lot of times. I'm brought up, on these role reversal stuff. The men are supposed to be doing a lot of things.
Okay,
nowadays.
we tapping in how it appeared in the beginning versus what it is currently. So let's go back in the past. What
back in the past, the men from my generation, they were the ones who, took care of the things around the house.
Okay.
As far as fixing things and the chores of like cutting the grass, if something was broken, they was the one responsible to fix it. And they were the breadwinners. They were the ones working. They was the providers. And a lot of time the women, were the stay at homes, or they had that's what they were. But nowadays, it seems like that's kind of getting flipped, because I'm starting to hear like men being okay with being stay-at-home dads, while the women, out working and making the buku bank and getting the bag and securing the bag. I'm not okay with that.
You're not okay with that?
I couldn't do that. I got to be able to do something. Now, I'm not saying I need to be the primary breadwinner, but I got to be bringing in some bread. Even if you banking 100K or you doing the six figures, I still got to be bringing in something that secures at least my part.
Do you think it affect their masculinity when they figure out the female is making more than they're making, or what's the?
It is a heavy blow, regardless. If you're a man that statures yourself on winning, bringing home the bacon, and the woman does kind of get a promotion or something like that, makes a little bit more than you, it is a little bit of a gut punch. I don't care who you are or what you say.
But that's the thing. We're Straight For You. We got to get into it. So therefore, explain why is it so much of a gut punch in a sense? Because
you feel like that is that's your lane. Your lane is now being driven into. And now it's hard for it to be. You're used to being in that lane by yourself. You're used to having that comfortability of, hey, I'm making sure that I'm doing my part as a man, because part of that is supposed to be providing safety and security.
Okay.
But if someone else is providing the safety or the security, now it's kind of like,
well, you know me, I go on the flips of the coins of different aspects of the topic. So with you saying that you're used to the man showing the providership towards the nucleus of the family, which I respect and understand. Let's not get it twisted. But to get further into that, you know, you had examples of what that looked like before
Correct.
you became the man you are.
correct.
Do you think due to the idealistics that they had back then, it's not making your brain grasp the idea of a female being on that role?
No, it's grasping, because even in my parents' situation, my mom was like I said, one of the top buyers for Famous and Bar, which is now actually called Macy's.
Okay.
But she was one of the top buyers, and my dad had 2 jobs, and I think still was maybe right up under her, or had to work 2 jobs to be the sole provider.
So did he do it because of the simple fact of her making a higher income, or just the man he is? Because you do have some people just got that drive to take care.
I don't at least believe he did it just for that sake. My dad was working probably when he was 10 years old.
Yeah.
So it's always been embedded in him to work, have 2 jobs, and he was a planner just in case one job didn't work out. Hey, I got another job that, I know this will be able to take care of a portion of what's to come. So
no, because I'm not questioning his masculinity. I was just saying the idealistic, just to make sure on the same level financially.
Yeah. And I don't think that was the case. I don't. I think he just wanted to make sure, and he was one of those thinkers that is like, hey, anything can happen. I could get laid off or anything like that.
Shout outs to him. I'm that type of person that, will have multiple jobs if need be in order to sustain the household.
Right.
But we're tapping on these men and women role reversals. Like at the end of the day, you gave an idea of what a man in your mind should be doing in a sense when it comes to the household.
Absolutely.
And
like they got that term out there, you take care of home first.
Yes, and that's what it should be, period. Take care of your home before you try to take care of outside.
Or before you try to go out and, live the life, do the nightlife and pay for drinks and everything like that. Your mortgage, your rent is coming up. You can't go out and clown your money. You got to know and have a good discipline, so to speak, of spending your money as a man, because then you don't want to come and say, hey, I spent all my money. Can you pay this half?
And I've seen some situations and some scenarios like that,
right?
Where they want to splurge on fun, and when it comes to responsibilities and taking care of household is at the bare minimum. They expect the other party to step up to the plate, or find or friends or family members to step up for their lacking. And that's not fair, and that's not right, because everybody out here busting their butt just to make an income and bring food to the table. But going back to the topic of the men and women reversals, I think I said on one episode, due to the circumstances of going back in the past, because again, I focus on the past sometimes to give the idea of what's going on current and what the future may look like if we don't change.
Right.
But back in the past, when we were in war and things of that nature, and they required the men to leave their job to go to war. And
correct.
Due to the economy being what it is, they need bodies to keep the work going. So here come the females get into the line of work. So with that being said, they're finally making income. They finally get the idealistic of what a man seems to have.
Correct.
Because whoever has the money has the control, right?
That's how it, in a sense,
back then,
yeah.
Because the man he's the breadwinner.
That's right.
He's the provider. So whatever you heard him saying, whatever the rules I put forth, you're gonna have to follow because I'm the
cost
provider.
To be the boss, yeah.
Yes, that part. So when the role changed due to them having to go to war, women didn't want to get back in the house and go through all that.
They started working now. They was like, I like this.
Yes, and it's motivating. It's inspiring to be able to put your hands on stuff other than just folding sheets and doing all this other stuff. You know, but at the end of the day, that's what I think flipped the coin on women just being household wives.
Correct.
Versus the man just going, give me a kiss, give him his lunch, and bye.
Take care of the house and keep it to a certain extent.
Yeah, women had to step up to the plate while they were gone, not just be the feminine portion of the household, but the masculine portion of the household, because they had to go out, take care and get the money, then they had to come back and pay the bills, then they had to flip mode to back for the children, nurturing, cooking, cleaning, doing all that stuff. So at the end of the day, I think it developed a sense like I am kind of like Superwoman. I can be more than what appears or everybody wants me to be.
And a jack of all trades.
Yes, and then you got the younger generation watching this.
Yeah.
Watching their mothers go out and get it. Not for the sake of their fathers being there. And then when the men come back, they want to go back to that same regular routine, but no, you got a taste of life.
Yeah,
you know,
they want to do it, so it's nothing wrong with it. You know, it's nothing wrong. Like I said, it's a lot of adjustments probably that would have to come. You know, but it's what you, like you said, your environment, what you were exposed to. When we are evolving, we are changing. So it's just, you know, communication with that
just
aspect.
To get them understanding of the possibility of what occurred to where we are current. Because that was fresh in the game of them experiencing that, the different role reversals. So it kind of threw stuff off balance.
Well, stuff is off balance now, especially even role reversals with, you know, women asking men.
Well, we're going to get further into it because we still in the beginning of the conversation, and I want to lead towards that.
It goes so many different lanes with this role reverse. So many different lanes.
We definitely going to tap into it like heavy, you know, as the reason why we are where we are today. Because as we joke around and do what we do, we still want to inform and educate the possibilities of what occurred to where we are now. So therefore, I was like thinking to myself, this is all my perspective. Hey, and you chiming in with your perspective. Like, I think that was one of the sparks that led to the different of the role reversals. Because as time progressed, women got the need of like, damn, I can do what a man do, if not sometimes better. You know, because depending on what it is, you know, and at the end of the day, then I think over time, I'm not gonna say all men. This ain't no all situation, that they start feeling inferior because they wasn't doing what they or receiving what they had before. While the woman was in the house and they went out to work, and when they came back, they didn't have a job. They had to see their woman go out to work while they stay home and try to manage the kids, and that's something that they wasn't used to. They had to grow to learn how to get used to it. Some men fell in the role of it and it was okay with it. And then you got some of the men that's like, fuck this shit, why can't I get a job? And then here come the drinking and the other stuff occurring. Let's be honest, let's be straight for you. That they mental couldn't take it to the point that they getting violent within the household. Because remember, around that time, it sparked a lot of little incidents within the house.
And sometimes it's abundance of things. We don't want to say that it was just that main thing.
I'm just saying that, of course, it's abundance of things, but little pieces of that could mess with the ego. Yeah,
absolutely.
You know, it's an ego breaker. You know, when you finally like have this role as the leader, but you got to follow down to the follower, and you're not used to that. Some people are not used to
certain circumstances or whatever. Or like I say, a lot of the hard labors and things like that. That's what men would do, and then women who had the good mindset to be able to come up with ideas on how to do things smarter instead of the hard labors that a lot of times took over. So now there are a lot more women CEOs now, and
Yes.
and everything from that aspect because women are thinkers.
Okay, yes, and that's true. And fast forward from the past, going or further up towards the present, now you have the situations where, the women and the government play this little part. I ain't gonna go in details about that, but government play this little part that you don't really need a man, in a sense, like in a way that
I think women played that part.
No, and
that's my opinion.
And
I think women came up with that notion.
No, it's not.
What I need a man for.
But it's not just women. Government had this issue. The reason why I say that because they created certain programs that help you understand you don't need him, in a sense. Well, you can go out, get you a job. If need be, single mothers can get a little bit extra if their father is not in the household. Let's be realistic. Let's look at the overall aspects. It's our programs that help us be on our own compared to just. And I'm not saying,
but a good portion of women don't be on those programs because once they start getting those. Those, like you say, those CEO jobs, and they paying and they can doing it for themselves. Education, way more education now out there.
But there are programs that provide you in order to get those things. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying it's in a bad way because, again, that helps the women progress in life as well as any other.
But it's just in my opinion that I don't think the women who are on that assistant living and getting the extra stuff and all of that, they don't necessarily, in my opinion, and what I've been introduced to, they're not really the ones that are on that. I don't need a man,
I'm not
it's
saying
it's true to the case, you don't need a man.
I'm also building up from the past going forward.
I get
what you giving aspects of where we are current. Yes, we on that level that we don't need no program. We don't feel like we really need a man. We want a man.
Correct.
Again, we are leading towards that because we got an hour shot.
Yeah. I thought you, because you did say, let's fast forward up in today. So I'm speaking.
No, not today. I say it's just fast forward, like going forward. Yeah. Because we eventually gonna have to go towards what's going on today because the fugaziness of it all.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of fugaziness of it all.
They, in a sense, supposed to do versus some of these women not doing what they supposed to do. So yes, but at the end of the day, that's why I said as far as the government stand on the situation, they did provide programs to help women be more independent with their stance and not have to need a man, because back then you kind of needed a man in order to survive. They looked at it like you have to get married, you have to have the kids, you have to have the provider, which is the man, to make it all make sense.
Well, a lot of times y'all were programmed to, get married, get the man and everything. So
and
that was the job.
Programmed to make sure they had the money in order to get the wife and the kids popping and stuff like that. And that's why I said as time progressed, when the war happened and things have changed and the roles were reversed, again, and I have to go with the idealistic of our culture. A lot of stuff was programmed so we won't need you. We don't need you. At the end of the day, we just want you. We don't need you. So that's what I'm leaning towards. Going towards that idealistic towards. Hey, things were created for a reason. Things were created to divide, not unify. Because the world runs off chaos, and money.
But those choices were made, because even though those things were created, there was still the choice to.
Oh, we all have choices.
Do that, to go that route, and it's like once you cross over to that other side, it's like it's almost no point, no return, no point in coming back. So
imagine him being a kid seeing these things. Again, children are sponges. They learn what they see and they see what they learn. So at the end of the day, if you have a generation that's witnessing certain events popping off, they seeing their mom mostly work, especially a female. child watching their mom get it. Because I'm giving the example of me. Most of my women in my family, I saw them get it, and that's made me the person I am currently.
True.
You know, to be out here. If I don't get it with one job, I get another job. I had at one point 3 jobs and going to school.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, they were examples to me of what a woman should be.
And that's good you picked up on that, because a lot of women may not pick up on that. A lot of women may see mom working 2-3 jobs and say, I don't want to work that hard.
And that's true. And they should want to work that hard. But at the end of the day, that it all depends on their mindset, the level of environment they grew in, whether it be family, household, or outside community.
Mm-hmm.
Everything plays its part into where you are currently.
And it could have a positive effect or a negative effect.
Exactly, because the way you are now is the product of your parents.
Correct.
You know, and
that
your
I
family.
picked up on that.
Yeah, and your family members. You know, at the end of the day, that's all I'm saying.
Because the message is there, but whether we receive it or not, the examples are there, but whether we want to take heed to those examples kind of really just depends on the person.
It does depend upon the person. That's as you get older.
Correct.
As a child, you have no real stance. You think you know everything, but
that is true.
It takes life to really slap you in the face to let you know
like,
that
I don't want to do this.
You know,
or
it's
you
not
be like,
really
hey, I want to do this.
Yes,
you know?
Yes. So in terms of moving forward to the current now, the fugaziness of it all, you know, you do have situations where men, I'm not saying all, have gotten lazy in the stance of trying to be that provider. They rather be the receiver.
Yeah.
You know, they rather be the one that, okay, since you want to be the man, be the man. You know, if you want to buy me gifts. If you want to, you know, fix that car, you fix it on your own. Mm-hmm. Down to not really opening the door and doing all the charming things you think will occur with your potential mate. They get to the point like, fuck that bitch, listen to the music, listen to what's being advertised social media wise. You know, it's like a division. We don't need each other, when in reality, we kind of do in order for survival.
Well, like I say, everybody needs somebody. Yeah. I don't care who you is and what all you have. Even the most wealthiest people still need somebody at some point of time. You know, so we need each other. We need to just go ahead and admit that right out the gate.
Thank you, because I hate to hear a woman, I don't need a man, or a man say I don't need a woman. Okay, if that's the case, be with your sex, and if you don't need them either, be alone.
Well, I always like this analogy by Chris Rock. It's like, you know, women say they don't need a man. That's cool. It's like, hey, yeah, you can drive a car with your feet. That don't mean it's to be done. So just because you don't need a man, that doesn't mean it's to be done. You know what I'm saying?
And it goes with men too, because you got a lot of men nowadays saying, I don't need a woman. So what you need? Yeah. At the end of the day, what you need? Because you have two choices: either be with your sex or be with the opposite sex.
Well, now they're starting to put a third choice out there. You might be the iRobot. You might get you a robot, artificial intelligence, and turn it off when you're tired of it.
But is that really a good thing to lean towards? Because I even mentioned that on an episode of like, we're losing our humanity towards each other. It's getting to the point that we don't even want to deal with this regular senses of each other. We supposed to go through these emotions. We supposed to do certain things to stimulate the brain to make yourself better. Now it's getting to the point that you just want to stay in the house. You just want to get the basics done, or better yet, get with an individual just for the intimacy and move forward. There is no work being put forth.
On the other hand, I mean, you could look at, if you did do that, that would cut down on like diseases and sexually transmitted diseases. Yes. I mean, it's always kind of
it's a flip of the coin on everything, but at the end of the day, it's that a real life to live, to not live with humans. You know, you get to the point that you, and I've said this on an episode, it's going to be just a virtual reality situation where you have a whole bunch of couch potato people out here. barely interacting, do you want your seed to not enjoy that simple fact of going outside, hanging with their friends, playing around, this, that, and the other? Would you want them to live a virtual life or a fulfilled life of movement? Because again,
it depends. I mean,
you talking about diseases. Let's get into the medical part now.
Exactly.
If you don't move, what happens to your body?
Well, even with the virtual reality stuff, you still got to move and
not
jerk and get that
necessarily
stuff.
This is now. No, you're thinking about today's, but it's gonna get more advanced as time progresses.
Well, I can't speak on the advancement.
I'm thinking like past, present, and future. That's what I do. Past, present, and future.
But who knows what they're gonna create or what they're gonna do in the future?
The idealistic. What if this happened? That they get so advanced in technology that you don't have to do no major physical movements because everything is a test. What you do is a test. Like they test computers back in the day with the big old boxes and stuff. Now we got laptops and now we got iPhones
But who's to say they ain't gonna create stuff where you gonna still be able to treat yourself in these things and muscles? Like they got these cryogenic type of
it sounds like
things
cool
for the
with
body.
The idea of not really dealing with humans.
To tell you the truth, I think a good mixture, in my opinion, is good. But if it does, which, I mean, we are going to eventually evolve to, we may have to accept that. Because it's a lot of things.
Well, my question is, why accept something that is
I don't
not in your nature to be? Because even though...
We do it all the time.
But I'm saying it doesn't make it right, though. But at the end of the day, if you want to look at nature always it keeps that basic concept of growing and going. Between the animal kingdom, between the plants, it always have the basis of needing each other because that's what they do for survival. And what I'm hearing thus far, that people are losing the basics of survival. We do need each other to survive. In order to make the next generation survive, we have to teach them how to move around.
But I think that's the idea of man, is that man is always trying to create technology to do that.
To be lazy about it.
That could be a look at it, but in some cases, even the technology makes things better. Look at how we used to use checkbooks and everything like that, and how we used to have to do that, and now everybody uses the card now. People don't keep cash on them
and
stuff.
But
so
also
it's made some things better. But you get robbed with the cash.
At the end of the day, there is no perfect solution. That's all I'm saying. It might make it appear better, but it's not always better.
But the good thing about us is that we always work towards a better solution. We're always trying to find that next niche or that next thing to make something better.
That's more so technology, but we talk about men versus women, role reversal. At the end of the day, when you brought up the AI, it makes me feel like, okay, so you rather go with the third option, not even dealing with the man or the woman. That don't even compute, because at the end of the day,
it should compute.
I'm just saying it should, but I'm telling you my perspective.
I get it.
At the end of the day, we still need each other for survival. Yeah. And if you constantly depend on technology can break upon you. But that man, even though they're not dependable, at the end of the day,
I was about to say.
But at the end of the day, you still have individuals that are. You still create life in order to make it better and try your best to make it better. But you got people that experience certain things in their environment that breaks the idea of perfect down. Nothing's really perfect, but at the end of the day, I feel like we still need each other for survival. If that's the case, if you was put on an island by yourself, do you think you'd be okay with that? Period. The rest of your life is just you.
Just me on the island?
That's it.
I think a lot of times people end up on the island. You really find out a lot about yourself, and to see if you could.
Of course, you're gonna find.
A lot of people think, I'm on the island. I could figure it out, or you're forced to figure it out.
But I'm saying, let's be 1,000 about this. If you was put right now, the person you are right now, put on an island by yourself for the rest of your life, would you be okay with that?
No, I wouldn't be okay with that. But it's not in the terms of I wouldn't have anybody. It's on the terms of I'm on the island by myself. That means I don't have technology. I don't have nothing.
I'll tell you this, since you like your technology
I'm just,
so much.
no TV.
Maybe you and your AI. That's it.
Me and my AI, we figured out. I could rock with that.
But that's
do I want to just do it like that?
It's not about want. I'm just taking you to where you need to be. If that's what you mentally feel like we're heading towards, I'm giving an idealistic of you being on this island by yourself. Whether you can call it a room, you just not going nowhere. It's just you and your tech. Period. Your tech is your tech. It's not nobody controlling your tech like another person, like we play video games playing against each other. No, it's just you and your tech. You and your AI for the rest of your life. That's it. Okay. Would you be okay with that?
No, because I can't go nowhere. It's not. I get what you're trying to say.
You can go around this
around the island. That ain't good enough.
But that's what.
That would be the only problem I have. Could I just be on the island with my tech? Yes. Would I be okay with just
for the rest of your life?
For the rest of my life, yes. But not being able to go nowhere and venture off to what I'm used to doing, as far as going
where, doing what?
Just being able to get in a car and drive.
Okay, you got a car on your island.
You do? Oh, I do have a car.
You have a car. You on the island. The island has your home, your car, your tech. Meaning your iRobot. Not no phones or nothing like that, because you're not dealing with humans.
No, humans, right?
You just you and
if I got all that, I'm good then.
For the rest of your life,
I'm good.
Because that's what I'm saying. That's what it sounds like it's leaning towards. Couch potatoes. People just go on, if they really want to interact with another person, just go on the AI program and go like that. Versus us, like we're doing together. There will be none of that. Like you see your kids playing outside, interacting with each other. There will be no more of that. Would you be okay with that?
I think I could be.
Now, the perspective of it is what it is. At the end of the day, you do have people that think,
because you got to think there are people socially awkward too, who can't interact with people, and people who I guess are. What am I looking? People who kind of just aren't comfortable with themselves and have that low self-esteem and all of that. So there could be that, and that's why
I'm saying, like, in a sense, those particular individuals. Let's get deeper into it. Is because of their experiences while growing up. And it probably led them. Majority of them is that. Some of them do have mental, like it was mentally in their genetics that they're like this. But
possibly some, but not all.
Majority of them had experiences growing up to lead them to certain things.
It's hard to.
Well, you can't grasp it because you didn't experience it. I have experienced it because I've had those similar situations.
And I've had experiences where people, didn't have those experiences, and they're so different from, their mothers and fathers, and they had every opportunity, and for some reason they just didn't have that
But I said
skill.
That's what I stated. And you do have those rare occasions where it's within the genes or something that passed on along the line, because you do have
I'm not saying there aren't cases, but to base it on most or some, not everybody has all of that, and they still come out socially awkward. Their parents are conversation bugs. They work the room, and they just like I can't grasp that. I can't do that.
But that's fine, because again, it took like you stated, that's a great example. Their parents are social bugs, but they probably didn't like how their parents, it started when they were young, didn't like to see all those people. Why they like that? I don't want to be like that. At the end of the day, we are visual, we are mental, we vocal, and things of that nature. It takes, when we're young, to see certain things that we like and don't like.
Like and don't like, or maybe can and can't do.
Yes, because you might have the parents that's socially awkward and don't want to interact with people, but their child is like a social butterfly.
Correct.
Again, they be the polar opposite of what they see. At the end of the day, growing up, being a child, you do soak up certain things, whether they're good or bad or whatever. At the end of the day, we keep talking. We need to give some shout outs and highlights
we gotta get straight for you perspectives, outside perspective time.
So ding 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 ding. Straight for you outside perspective, where we give one male and one female the opportunity to discuss today's topic. You and this coin better not be head.
Tails.
Word on the
tails.
Something new. All right.
Tails. Finally.
Oh, yes. Because we've been getting heads for these
right.
That don't even sound right.
There you go.
Anyway, at the end of the day.
Glad you caught that.
Because I know you. Anyway, so at the end of the day, today's female perspective is Karen S.
What you got?
Karen said women already assume roles as men.
Okay.
We have become providers, heads of household, etc. Because men have refused to take responsibility for their families and their accountability that comes with it. Again, Miss Karen said women already assume roles as men. We have become providers, heads of household, etc. Because men have refused to take responsibility for their families and the accountability that comes with it. So I could get her perspective on the idea, because you do have those fugazis that out here don't want to do anything. Because we're not going to be biased on the situation, because it can go either way. Women ain't doing their part, men ain't doing their part.
True.
But for the sake of what Karen is saying, I get what she's speaking upon. You do have those women that has to go above and beyond to be both roles.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the men are not stepping up to the plate in those particular situations, So
there are some. There are some that step up to the plate, Karen.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, before you get so deep, like she's saying, all men, that's why I made that disclaimer.
Right, you cleaning it up for her. I get it.
No, it's not a cleanup. It's the reality of it. You do have these people that don't step up to the plate.
That's true.
That's why I said it's men and
in
women.
Her comment, she says men.
Because she only deals with men. So she has to give that aspect of a woman dealing with a man.
But in all aspects, there are men still that step up to the plate and handle their business and do and assume that role as, the man and the alpha man, and not only just assume the role as providing, but also planning to be that leader that, okay, I'm not just going to work harder to provide more, but I'm going to actually work smarter and make it so that our spending and what we have, even if something happens, I can get a job anywhere that still has the capabilities to pay for what we need as what we need, not what we want. So there are men that still have that mindset to not have this so high lifestyle of living and providing and getting things beyond their means, that they can be smart and get their home on a foreclosure and pay very low mortgage instead of getting this big extravagant house, and now you got $1,000 mortgage, and then you end up losing your job, and now it's hard because now that is based on the partner while you're waiting to get another job. So there are men that plan.
At the end of the day, we are not taking from any man or any woman that's doing their part. This topic is about the men and women that do the role reversal. And that's why I said Karen is on her stand as far as on point, because again, the role reversals leading towards the topic. That's why I said and made the disclaimer that we're not being biased. We're not talking about all. Not all. But the experiences of what Karen has been through is happening. Again, at the end of the day, you do have women as well as men having to do more than what's expected because the other party is not doing their particular part.
It happens out there.
To make you feel good, that's why I said men and women. But for the sake of Karen, that's true. That's facts.
There are men that don't accept responsibility.
And they're not responsible.
Correct.
They rather be the party guy all the time or not just deal with it, period. They don't even have to be the party guy. They just don't want to deal. You know, and you got some women that just don't want to leave the children to the men, and they have to step up and do the role reversal on taking care of the household. So we're not taking away from the people that are doing their part. Again, after you got some phenomenal people holding it down to this day, again, like they do to this day.
To this day.
You know, just doing the damn thing. And I'm one of them, you know, because I do have a seed of my own. But I don't take away from their father because they do their part even though we're not together. But that's conversation that y'all supposed to have before kids, but not everybody's willing to do. So that's, again, a choice. As my co-host would put it, that's a choice.
Yes.
You know, again, you might not like what you hear, but at the end of the day, this is where the comments come into play. This is where we have discussion, debatable, healthy discussion. You hear me? Healthy discussion about what's going on, because we're not here to bash anybody in their stance. You know, again, there are excellent people that do the damn thing, but they are some bunch of fugazi. Let's be real. Bunch of fugazis out here in these streets that want and require and never give back. You know, so
or do their part.
Exactly.
I should say, because I mean, when you got your responsibilities, you should look at it as a give back. You should look at it as, this is my part.
Yes.
And sometimes some people will go above and beyond, or sometimes people won't do anything at all. So that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, between time, we have to take a little break. It's time for our Straight For You sponsor highlights.
Woo! Gotta pay some bills.
We'll definitely get back with you in a minute. See you soon. Peace. To Straight For You, where we're giving you straightforward dialogue with an open mind. I'm your host, Miss Black Diamond, along with my co-host,
the Ruthless BK.
Hey, so
part 2.
So the first half we were talking about today's topic, which is men and women role reversals. And we got into a good conversation about it, and now we're continuing on. You know, we had a perspective from Miss Karen, meaning she discussed that pretty much the problem is some men are not being responsible and accountable with certain things when it comes to that, and they have to take a little bit of a higher stance on taking care of the house, meaning some of these women, you know, they have to step up to the plate because somebody else won't.
That's true.
You know, and that's with anybody. Like I mentioned on the first half, you know, we're not being biased. You got some great men and you got some great women out here really doing it without the other party being
there.
Apart.
Yeah, there.
You know,
present.
So moving forward, what else you feel about this topic before we get into the male perspective?
Yeah, I know we got some other parts as far as role reversals, even with the dating aspect.
Come on now. So, let's get into it.
I know we kind of dabbed in it and then dabbed off, but even with the dating and how the women now have, like you said, taken more of an aggressive stance and will ask the guy on the date now. And, you know, the guy, they'll come and pick him up. You know, they almost doing the usher trading places almost. You know, they paying for the dinner.
Do you think some of the guys have gotten soft to that, you know, in a sense that now you have some men that expect that now, you know, or want, like some people say the women gold diggers, now there are men kind of like gold diggers out here. They expect you to treat them. They expect you to, you know, wine and dine and do all these different things. What about those individuals?
And I wouldn't say the men are getting soft to it, but I think it's almost getting late. I have to say that they might be getting used to some of those things because it's when you go out on a date and there is that time where you're expecting to pay for everything, and there is when you go to pay for something and the woman say, "No, I got this." You're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
And it's, you kind of give, you like, okay. Hey.
And it's okay. It's a give and take on both ends. But what if you get the men that get so used to
and that's the problem where you take
lazy,
that and you take it way left, and it's like, oh, okay, well, she gonna pay for this. Well, let's see what else she gonna pay for. So we can't, as men, do that and go left for a good, generous gesture. Take that and go left with it and expect it to be done all the time.
That's why I said about the soft. And I'm not calling you soft like you just.
No, I know you ain't calling me soft.
No, I'm just saying.
I was trying to take for the men.
No, I'm just talking about the conversation towards the men. You know, I'm not calling the men soft. I'm saying the situation is soft.
It is some soft men out there, though.
There is some soft men out there, and they can't really take care of themselves and stuff like that.
Oh,
and
that's another
real.
thing.
You know, let's be straight for you. You got some men that out here are predators towards the idea of a female just taking care of him.
Yeah.
You know, you got them men that don't want to work. They rather sit in the house, eat up all the kids' food, and then drive the women's car. And you got the women that let that go on because they, for the sake of having a man, because it's getting to the point that a true man is hard to find. And let's be honest, I'm giving a female perspective. One, to find a good man that, in a sense, I ain't gonna say good, a compatible man that has a job, has a level head, I ain't gonna say all the way perfect, but has a level head to take care of business, household alongside you, or even ahead of you, is becoming more rare. Mm-hmm. So therefore, some of these women feel like, shit, since I got it, as long as I got a man in my house, or a man period, I'm willing to accept all this shit he's bringing. Then they both living in he's living great and fine, but she's not happy because she's settling for something that she really didn't want in the first place, just to have a man, because you got the pressure of your family. So when you gonna get a man? When you gonna have kids? When you gonna do this? You think the men, y'all get pressure, we get pressure too. You know, and it's on the higher standards. That's why you got these women out here just doing the most just to capture something that they really didn't want in the first place, because these people are not going to be good for you in the long run.
Or maybe too is some of the times that they're taking a little bit more off a man because he might be a good, wholehearted person. He's not a scumbag. He just don't have a job, or he just don't have a car. So they like, well, at least, you know, I can talk to him. You know, they're starting to do the at least, you know.
The
so at least
let's be
I can
honest.
at least I can have a conversation with him. At least he's nice to me, but he just don't have no money.
Child,
he just don't have no money.
For me, that's like the nurturing part kicking in. You have a grown ass child at that point. When it comes to that aspect, now you do have men that have situations that occur. These particular men I respect, because again, situations do happen. But if you still have that drive and that goal to try to still push forward, versus sitting down looking depressed and I don't want to do nothing and let the woman doing everything, those are the ones I'm talking about. Because again, at the end of the day, you got those men that do fall short, and you do have that capability to lift them up, because that's what we should do for each other, lift each other up. And then when they come to a certain stance in life, y'all can keep moving forward like you're supposed to. But you do have those scenarios, men and women, where you lift them up, they get to a stance, and then they dip on you because you done got them to the level they feel like they don't need you anymore. Right. So that's what makes it hard for, again, I'm getting my perspective as a female, a black female dealing with black men. Like, yo, again, I love a masculine man. I like a protective man, but I don't like a disrespectful man towards me. Right. With it, trying to use their masculinity to hold me down instead of lift me up and put me right beside you. I'm trying to build a legacy, not a empire that will fall.
Correct.
A legacy, not an empire. A legacy. So therefore, I don't have time to be your mama. Sometimes people want the idea of their mom. I said sometimes. Dog, let's be real. You do have those people that
I think we had this conversation another time too.
You know,
it's very hard for me to grasp that people that a man actually wants his mama. I think he wants. He wants somebody to take care of him, and sometimes women draft that idea into "I'm not your mama."
No. I've actually heard a man say that he wants somebody similar to his mama. You know, and that this
I have never heard that on my end. Because I think of my mom and I'm like, no, I do not want no woman like her.
Your mind, but that's why I said we're gonna have to tap into every word.
If you have had that experience, please speak on it because that's interesting.
What don't seem normal to you, it has happened. I've seen some men say they want in different cultures too. That they want somebody similar to their mom. They ain't trying to, of course, not fuck their mom. They want them to have the basis of what their mama provided. Always cooking, always cleaning, always folding, doing something, in that nature of similarity. And why can't you cook like my mom? You don't do this like my mom. And that's when you hear the scenarios where you should have married your mama.
Yeah.
It didn't come from the air. It didn't come out of the sky. These people just saying these things. These are people that experienced that. That's why I'm giving you, and we have this conversation.
Yeah,
again, you're not that man. And I appreciate you. You're not that particular type of man.
Right, thank you.
But at the end of the day, we're going to have to tap into the lowest of the low and the highest of the high. We give our flowers to the ones that's doing right.
Right.
But they got to understand the reason why some of these people are falling short in relationships, because they get these lazy ass fugazi men and women, and then it creates a problem. And that's why people don't want to deal with people like they don't. And
it too, because there are women who are that aspect of taking care of their men.
They want to be the mama. You got the women that
they want to be the mama. I think they just want to take care of their man.
No, listen.
Because my mama didn't take care of me like that.
When I say wanted to be the mama, they take the role of a motherly
of a caretaker or something to that degree.
They make them extra lazy. They don't have to get up. They rub their feet. They wash their clothes, they get on meals, they do all these things. What you want? Let me do your hair.
I'll be like that. I'll be doing all this. I got it. I can do it. That's me.
Have those women that over nurture.
Right.
They become not the wife or the girlfriend or the person that's in their life. They become their mom. Yeah. They become the role of the mom. I'm not saying they are the mom. Yeah. They just taking it too far. They're taking
it to the extreme.
Yes, and then you got the man that wants that extreme. But the thing is, they get with people that aren't like that. If you can kind of get with your match, it makes it a little bit easier. Because if the man got with a woman that wants to be the role of the kind of like the mom, you wouldn't have no problem. Because she be taking care of him, he be getting taken care of.
Just taking care of.
Just ring the bell. Yeah, and she just
now you talking about maid now, because that almost sound like maid.
At the end of the day, maid, mom.
It makes me cringe when you say mom. I don't like to hear that mom.
But at the end of the day, you do have people like that.
Yeah.
And you have people that actually are of high wealth, hire people to act like certain things. Okay. We in a crazy, chaotic world. Yeah. People do some crazy things, some fetishes that we can't really tap into right now. But at the end of the day,
that could be another topic.
Fetishes. But at the end of the day, you do have individuals that don't require certain things from other individuals. Okay. You have a strong basic foundation to where you want to be as a man.
Okay.
Not every man has that strong foundation. Just like I have a strong foundation as to where I want to be as a woman. There aren't any women similar to me. They're not enough, in a sense. But at the end of the day, that's their choices.
Yeah.
I'm not disrespecting anybody in their stance. You just got to get with the right individual that is cool with it. Cool. If the man wants to be in the woman's role, and he get with a woman that wants to be in a man role, fine. Who am I to judge?
There you go.
But it's the ones that get with the ones that don't I want a man.
There you go.
I want a man. I
So-
don't want a child.
So let me share this before we get into the next perspective. My girl actually asked me a question.
Mm-hmm.
She said, if I got a job that paid $100K and had to move, would you move?
Yeah.
So you want to know my answer? Y'all want to know my answer?
I think it's no.
Y'all want to know my answer? I was like, no. I'm not moving because, and she said, why? And I said, well, as a man, I said, the man doesn't follow, in my perspective, in my case, I'm not saying I'm right, but this is how I feel in the case. You don't follow a woman on her journey because that's her choice. Now, I'm saying we're here, and I have my foundation as my job and the things that I have here, my house, my family is here. And I was like, my family needs me. So I couldn't just go out and go somewhere else and not have my back end of having a job and being able to provide and everything else. That's a great thing for you. But now I have to move, and now I have to find a new job that hopefully can, master up to what either I had or better. So I was like, no, but I don't know how you feel that, and definitely it would have to be a deep conversation because I would have to know where we moving to, because it might not be far, and if that's the case, then it's a different story, But and then I would have to see maybe if I could transfer or what else, there would have to be some. It's a longer, in-depth thing if it was to be happen or be discussed. But just right out, she asked me that question. It's a no if you got to ask me right then and there.
You ready for my perspective?
Go ahead, because I know you know.
Oh, child. Okay. Number one, I respect what you just said.
Thank you.
I give kudos to what you said. You stand your ground as a man, and your stance, not even a man, just a person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is where I go flip the coin.
Mm-hmm.
That conversation, she brought up the simple fact of making a high-end amount of money, but it has to be in a different location. You automatically said in the category of I. All I heard was I. I have my this here. I have my that here. I have my responsibilities and foundation here. Mm-hmm. I. And then you later on clean it up. Well, I can give you a compromise. I have to figure out, in a sense, what's there and see if I can get a job and blah, which is a good thing, a great thing, actually. Mm-hmm. But you should have flipped that. You should have said, well, I don't know because I don't know the economy there and I have to get a job. I'd rather have a job first as a man, as a stance, this, that, and other, and then follow through with, well, due to the fact also I have family here, this, that, and other. You made it all about yourself before even considering the situation. That's what, this is why.
I'm a retort to that. I'm a retort.
Yeah, this is what I heard thus far. And also, too, this is where the situation gets a little tricky, because if the tables were turned and you were the person with the high-end job as the man, mm-hmm. and having to relocate to a different city, state, or whatever for this particular job, and you asked her the question, you would want her, in a sense, to be like, okay, I will follow you. I'm just saying,
because we talked about that too.
Yeah,
so I know where you're going.
This is your couple. This is y'all as a couple. Again, y'all
mm-hmm.
standards is totally different from our other people's standards. But you do have individuals that have similar situations as what you just presented.
Correct.
And I'm saying, for the sake of a certain amount of men, they expect the woman to uproot and come with them, because again, they're the leaders. Mm-hmm. But if the tables were turned, let's be fair about it, they wouldn't do that. And it's supposed to be a unity thing. If it's a unity thing, it shouldn't matter if you care and want to be with that person. Whoever's making the money, they making the money. It's going mm-hmm. towards both of y'all.
Right.
At the end of the day, but also the person got to respect before we make this move, saying if it was you that making the money, or if I would ask you, do you mind? And if so, let's look at what's over there in your job field. Because, again, people need to want need to work. In a
Right.
sense, those people that have work constantly, they have a need to want to work.
Correct.
So again, that's a discussion of, okay, yeah, I got this high-end job. It's going to be good for the both of us. But let's make sure that you are secure with wherever we go. Like, you're going to have a job too. And then that's a decision y'all both have to make. Like, if I'm going to continue with going to this job, or are we going to not be together? Because of
right.
the job.
That's what's saying.
But
So I based it off of the question at first, because it was just a flat out question.
Yeah.
Would you do this? Yes or no? Right at that time.
Yeah.
So I said no. Then I explained on the case of why it was a no, which I said about the relocation and trying to have to find another job, because I've got my career right here.
Did you say that in the beginning? Because the way you described it, you said about you because I got this, I got my job, I got my family, I got this.
Yeah, I said that. And then I went into, and then on the back end, I would say, even if the roles were reversed, I wouldn't accept the position without talking to you first. So I would be like, if I was presented a position, hold on, I'm not going to accept that. Let me at least check first. And if you didn't want to move because you stated, well, I have this and I have that, then I've got to go back. Hey, no, I can't do it. I'm good here. We're good here.
Oh, okay, because you would consider that. Even though this can change your whole world.
If it was,
life.
but a good part of me doesn't really want to relocate now anyway.
Yeah.
So if it was presented and I did go and I said, I'm not going to accept it.
Let's flip it a little bit more. What if this is the career of your dream? You went to school. You really were inspired to get this position. But the thing is, the position is in a different location. This is your dream job. Like, absolute, this is what you've been working hard for. You finally got to that level, because you do have these situations of finally getting to the level you deserve and worked extremely hard for it. But the decision is that you have to move.
And that's where it wouldn't be my dream job. Okay. Because I would have to move. Okay. So it wouldn't be my dream job because I have to move. My dream job would be, I worked hard here. This is where I should get the job. Okay. So if it was my dream job, I would get it because it's here. It's where I am.
What if they don't offer that?
Then I'm okay with where I'm at.
Okay.
Because I'm good.
Okay.
I'm not hurting.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that.
I respect that, and there's nothing wrong with it. I respect it. But moving forward, because
we got that last perspective. I just wanted to share that, because I thought that was a good thing.
It is a great thing.
This.
It's not just a good thing. That was a great example of the possibilities.
Yes.
So with that being said, we're going to move on to the male perspective, which is Kevin P. Kevin P. said, I think women are trying too hard to assume the role of men. Thinking they can replace a father to a child. Hold on. Thinking they can replace a father to a child. Strong-armed brothers in jobs. Yeah, times have evolved, but last time I checked, I ain't no woman emotionally or physically like us. Again, Kevin P. stated, I think women are trying too hard to assume the role of men.
Okay, Kev.
Thinking they can replace a father to a child. Strong-armed brothers in jobs. Yeah, times have evolved, but last time I checked, ain't no woman emotionally or physically like us, and we're not trying to be emotionally and physically like y'all at the end of the day, because Kevin P, you came a little sideways, so let me go to the side with you.
I knew it.
Let me go to the side with you. Because again, you do have women that do want to have the role of a man because that's what they want to be, and shout outs to them on their stance. And you have men that want the role as a woman and to be a woman. Shout out to them. But at the end of the day, I don't want to physically or emotionally be you because I am me at the end of the day. You cannot deny my strength because of your weakness.
How dare you?
At the end of the day. So, again, to replace a father to a child, why won't you stay in a child life? And so you won't be replaced. How about that? And for the strong arming men, I don't have to strong arm nothing with my intelligence compared to your strength, okay? If you can't handle the job, don't be blaming me because I have the skills and the capability to do what you couldn't do. That's just my stance. So at the end of the day,
all right, Kevin, let me come on and work this out with you. Now, Kev, I do understand on the first part of what Kev was saying. There are some women out there who do want to try to be.
That's what I said.
I'm going by this thing.
I agree.
They do try to take that role and think they is a man and all of that.
Yes.
So thank you for the mic check.
Yeah,
but on the thing about the strong arm and the jobs, that's really on us on that one, Kev. If we're beat out, if somebody has a better skill set or is better in the interview, better in their thinking process, I don't
blink my lashes.
I don't look at it as women are out here strong arming us on the jobs. We either good or we're not, and if they're the better ones for the job, they're the better ones for the job.
Yeah,
so,
and that's with any sex. I am not denying no man, no woman, or whatever you want to be in this world. What you're not gonna do is make it seem like it's like that's what's happening when it's not the case. Again, down to the father situation, and you do have some fugazi females that don't let the father do their part, and do you got some fathers that's fugazi that don't even step up to the plate. But what you're not gonna do is what you just stated on this perspective.
And there are jobs that women don't tap into, Kev, fully. There are constructions and building and stuff like that. There may be a woman that they have in there, but I ain't never seen a crew of women builders or women construction workers and things like that. So I mean, we have our roles and we have our things that we do that we have, and at the same time, you did mention in the comment, I understand times are changing and everything like that. There are, because before there were no women tapping into those fields, like that, not even one. But now a lot of times you will see in a crew of that type of atmosphere, there is one woman, because there is a woman who needs to know these things in case things like this happen and we're not there. So it is, times are changing.
Today, daughter, just let me teach you these basic things for survival.
For survival.
Those the good fathers that teach them how to change their tire, do oil changes, do stuff around the house, maintenance wise. So in case you don't have a man nearby,
you know how to at least get by.
And I was wrong. Let me say this again, Mr. Kevin P. You have the right to feel how you feel, because I do ask for complete perspectives. But at the end of the day, even though you give me your perspective, you will catch this heat if I feel like the fire needs to come out.
Don't let them strong arm you, Kev. Don't let them strong arm you. You can control that. Don't let nobody strong arm. Don't let no woman strong arm you, Kev.
Oh, Kevin got disrespected in his life by women, and that's what it sounds like. Talk about some strong arm. Who's
strong arming us out of our jobs? No.
You trying to say women trying to emotionally and physically. Not all women trying to be emotionally and physically like a man. Don't let them.
And just look at it as maybe that job wasn't for you, Kev. There's something out there that's for you, and won't nobody be able to strong arm you from it, because you are the best at it.
Yes, get what you need, Kevin.
But we got to accept that as men, because that ain't a comment as a man that's acceptable.
I appreciate you. Come on, Lounge.
But Kev, now I do agree. There is some women out there who try to be us and try to,
the thing about it is, before I really got into it, and they do. And I said that you do have some women or individuals that do that.
Yeah.
But what?
Yeah, he ain't all wrong on that point.
They try to be the man.
Yeah.
And genetically they're not the man.
Because you hear women say, I'm more man than you, and all of this
stuff. But you do have
stuff.
some women that are living more men. Let's stop. Let's play excuse you. Because you do have some women that are more men than a man.
No.
For some men. And you know you seen it. Stop playing.
That ain't a man.
Stop playing.
That ain't a man.
Stop playing.
That ain't a man.
Genetically,
like
there are men.
Austin Powers. That is not a man, baby.
But genetically, there are, and they're just not on that standard. You do got some women that can whoop that ass, yeah. But at the end of the day. Yeah. That's on them.
On them.
We live in this world.
That's true. That's true.
But we gotta keep going because it's all pretty much towards the end. We went past our time, baby.
Yeah, this was really fun. Y'all, at the end of the day, so to wrap it up before we get into our quote, that the dating is changing. The marriage, now women are taking that role. If they see something they want, basically women now are seeing what they want and they're going for it. So I mean, on one end, kudos to women who know what they want, ain't afraid to go out and make that step and make that leap and take what they want. As men know too, we seeing that we got to step up if we gonna try to be the boss and we gonna try to be the man and all of that, and we gonna try to call shots. We can't let them strong on us, fellas.
We gonna keep talking about
that. Oh Lord, we can't let them strong on us, fellas. We got to fight. We got to fight to keep ourselves apex. Okay, we got to do it because women are stepping up. Women are getting smarter. Women are getting tougher out here. So we got to do it too.
How you put it in that analogy. That we are starting. We've been.
Yeah, women have
just been silent. The silent educators. We've been the silent providers. We've been the silent strong armors, as he put it. We just didn't get a whole lot of highlight because we didn't put it to the light. And now
y'all putting it to the light. So fellas, we got to step up.
I'm just saying it's not new.
On some aspects, we can do better, fellas. In some aspects, we can do better.
And women can do better too.
And in some aspects, women can dial it back a notch too. In some cases, in some cases, not everything.
I'm not mad at
as far as the
energy. At what you're saying, but think about you being quiet, been told to be quiet for a long time, and when you finally get a voice to say something, of course, it's gonna come out loud and strong.
Or now you never want to shut up. So that's what I mean by you can. Now that you got the voice, it don't mean you got to talk all the time. You got the voice. We hear it. Let's do it right.
But some people still don't hear. But at the end of the day, we gotta have to find an equal balance.
That's what I was coming to the term.
Because it was here for us. Now it's coming up here for us, and now. It was here for y'all. Now it's kind of here for y'all. Now we have to find just an equal balance.
We can't take that.
It's gonna take a long time.
Yeah, it is. We can't take that. Hey, y'all want to do all of this? Y'all want to go right ahead? We can't do that. Fellas. We can't just give up the reins because they want to do a lot and everything like that. We got to still stay there and work together and keep ourselves up there. If not, get to the point where we can. Do everything like it should be and used to be, should I say. But
in the meantime, between time, because we're not going to make this a 2-hour show. If y'all want
want more on it?
No, if you want more on it, leave a comment. And we might end up doing a part 2 to this. We just need y'all to chime and let us know what you want.
With more perspectives. Maybe we can get some more perspectives, 2 or 3 of them, to really go into this.
Our 2 perspectives, along with our outside other 2 perspectives. But in the meantime, between time, let's go ahead and go into this straight for you positive quote.
Let's get that quote.
It's pretty much cut and dry, a little small one. It says, give life to what you give energy to. Choose wisely. Again, the positive quote is, give life to what you give energy to. Choose wisely.
I like that choose wisely part.
So, yes,
choose
at the end of the day.
Choose wisely.
Yes, choose wisely on your stance on, and if you.
Thank you. I was about to say, because they're going to miss the message we need to.
Choose wisely on your stance. If you don't like what you see or experiences, you can
Don't give your energy to it.
Yeah, you could move forward and don't even give no energy
Right.
towards it. Because at the end of the day, you allow what you allow.
Hey.
If that
You allowed it.
okay.
And
But-
we mean allow it by still letting it happen.
Yep, that's facts.
Boom.
So moving forward, where can they find you, sir?
Well, they can find me in St. Louis,
Okay.
But no, ruthlessbk@gmail.com. That way you can leave your comments, leave what you want to hear from me, and see more from me. I'm also the host of the Justice League Skate Talk.
Yes.
Also, you can catch that on YouTube and with my co-host Superman and GL, and on there my alter ego is the Dark Knight on there. So we're the Justice League, and we talk skate talk and nothing but skate,
All right, and then they definitely get into it. Like, definitely get into it.
Yeah, we talk about national parties and situations that happen in the skating rink all the time. So tune out, and we have guests on there too.
Okay, that was good and was great, actually.
Where can they look you at, babe?
Okay, of course, you can find me here at Always on Straight
all
For You.
the time.
Also, too, you can go on Instagram and Twitter. No, not Twitter. Instagram and TikTok. On the Ms_Black Diamond. It's MZ_Black Diamond. And also, too, you can go on Facebook, Straight For You Podcast. Come on, follow. I don't mention that too often.
Yeah.
Go ahead and follow Straight For You Podcast on Facebook.
Come on now.
You know the name.
So you can see what we're getting ready to talk about, what's been talked about.
Yes.
Leave the comments on what you want to hear when we talk about what we talk about. Come on now. Come on now. Is that a good co-host or what?
That's a great co-host.
There you go. Yeah.
Yes. Appreciate you, and I appreciate y'all for tuning in. And make sure y'all hit the subscribe, the like, the notification, and go ahead and share our journey with your peoples. Because we need that. We want that.
I know y'all got something to say. Y'all thinking it
with that.
Yeah. Trade places.
We giving y'all the opportunity to help us.
Right.
But anyway,
yourself.
At the end of the day, thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Peace.